Input tax credit, page 54. First one, input tax credit is not available in respect of service on which tax has been paid under composition scheme. Correct? Yes. You will not be able to take ITC. Free samples, yes. Goods used for personal consumption, yes. So all three cases we will not be able to take ITC on inward supplies. Then next, second, in which of the following situation recipient needs to add input tax credit availed by him to his output tax liability. So if payment for supply under forward charge is not made to supplier within 45 days, no. 90 days, no. 180 days, yes. So if the recipient is not making payment to supplier within 180 days from the date of invoice, so much of the ITC availed by the recipient shall be reversed along with interest. Okay, so 180 days. If the goods are received in lots or installment, when we can take ITC? On receipt of last lot or installment. For banking companies using inputs and input services partly for taxable supplies and partly for exempted supplies, which of the statement is true? So ITC shall be compulsorily restricted to credit attributable to taxable supply including zero rated supply. Compulsorily restricted to credit attributable to taxable supplies, no. So 50% of the eligible ITC on inputs, capital goods and input service shall be mandatorily taken in the month and rest shall lapse. Banking company can choose to exercise either option A or B. See, either A or B. Either they can go for proportionate ITC or they can go for this 50% ITC ad hoc. A supplier takes deduction of depreciation on the GST component of the cost of capital goods as per Income Tax Act. The supplier can avail ITC or cannot avail ITC? Cannot avail ITC because they are computing depreciation on the GST component. ITC of motor vehicles used for making dash is allowed for transportation of goods. Allowed, transportation of goods allowed. Taxable supplies of transportation of passengers allowed. Taxable supplies of imparting training on driving allowed. So option D. Mr. A has tax invoice dated 21/2023 of services received by him. Its input tax credit is lost if the ITC is not availed on or before. ITC not availed on or before. What is the maximum time limit for availment of ITC? 30th November 2023. Why 2023? Because this is 2000 financial year 2022-23. So 30th November 2023 or date of filing annual return 25/12/2023, whichever is earlier. Which is earlier? 30/11/23, option D. Input tax credit shall not be available in respect of goods used for personal consumption. Yes, not available. Membership of club provided by employer to employee as per company's policy. No. If it is under a statutory obligation, ITC available. Travel benefits extended to employees on vacation such as leave or home travel concession as per company's internal policy. No. So option D. All these three cases ITC not available. Mr. Raghu avails service of Mr. Raja, a chartered accountant, as under audit of financial accounts. Audit of financial accounts anyway in the block credits used in the course or furtherance of business. Yes. So we can take tax audit also same. Income tax return filing of Mr. Raghu's wife, ITC cannot be taken. Why ITC cannot be taken? Not used for business purpose. All the above amounts are exclusive of tax and applicable rate of GST on this service is 18%. So 55 plus 10, 65,000. 65,000 into 18%, that will be 11,700 can be availed as ITC. Is it clear? Then look into the descriptive questions. What is input tax? Wait, time is there. Okay. So I am just taking some extra time. Wait. What is input tax? tax paid on inward supplies, either under FCM or under RCM, and it includes even IGST paid on imports, and it excludes tax under composition scheme. What are the conditions necessary for availing ITC? That any conditions, 8 conditions are there, any 4 conditions you can write. What are they? The person availing ITC should be registered, he should use it or intended to use it in the course or furtherance of business, he should be in possession of tax paid document, he has actually received the goods or services. We discussed now, out of that any 4 points. Can a person take ITC without payment of consideration for the supply along with tax? Yes, but he should ensure that he need to make payment to the supplier within 180 days from the date of invoice. What is the time limit for taking or availment of ITC and reasons therefore? What is the time limit for availment of ITC? 30th November of succeeding financial year or date of filing annual return, whichever is earlier. However, in case of re-availment of ITC reversed earlier, this time limit is not applicable, correct? Then question number 5, a registered person transfers its business to another person. Is such registered person allowed to transfer the unutilized ITC lying in its electronic credit ledger to such transferred business? We need to write about 18.3. So, transfer of business with specific provision for transfer of liabilities, and the recipient should continue the business, and we need to get a CR CMA certification, and so with this specific, the transfer of ITC should be with specific provision for transfer of liabilities. Whatever is unutilized ITC in the books of transferor will be transferred to transferee, that points. Then question 6, Swastik Private Limited is a manufacturer of taxable goods. It purchased the machinery for 8 lakhs on which IGST of 14,400 is paid. The company has claimed depreciation under the Income Tax Act 1961 on the full value of the machine, that is including the IGST component, has also availed ITC of 14,400 paid by it as IGST. Examine if the stand taken by the company is correct in law. Can that 14,400 be taken as ITC? No, because they claimed the depreciation on the full component, full GST component. Then 7th question, Sigma Consultants and LLP of finance professionals provide financial consultancy services. It made an advance payment of 1,18,000 in the month of October to Azuro Computer Service for developing a software. So, they paid advance 1,18,000 inclusive of GST. The software would be used by the LLP to enhance the precision of financial advice given by it to various clients. So, which means it is used for their business. They can take ITC. The balance payment is to be made after successful test run of the software in the month of December, and they have availed the ITC of 18,000 in the month of October. Do you think Sigma Consultants can avail the ITC? When are they receiving actually? When are they receiving the services? The balance payment is made after the successful test run of the software in the month of December. So, in the month of December they are receiving the services, but they paid the advance in the month of October. Can they take ITC in the month of October? No. Should have actually received the goods or services. Person availing ITC should have actually received the goods or services. In this case, they actually received the service only in the month of December, so they cannot avail ITC in the month of October. Then question 8, a taxable person is in the business of information technology. He buys a car, maximum seating capacity 5, for use of his executive directors. Can he avail ITC in respect of GST paid? No. Motor vehicle used for transportation of persons, capacity does not exceed 13, not covered in the exceptions. So, is it used for further supply? No. Is it used in the business of transportation of passengers? No. And it is not used for imparting driving skills. So, ITC not available. Then question number 9, a technical testing agency tests and certifies each batch of machine tools before dispatch by BMT Limited. So, usually they do the testing and they will dispatch. Some of these tools are dispatched to a unit in SEZ without payment of GST. There are 2 options now for SEZ, either pay IGST or without payment of IGST, without payment of IGST. The finance personnel of BMT Limited want to know whether they need to carry out reversal of ITC on the testing agency service to the extent attributable to SEZ? No, because supply to SEZ is what? Zero rated. For ITC purpose, it will be treated as taxable, not exempted. Taxable. Supply to SEZ is taxable. Means can we enjoy the ITC? Yes. So supplies to SEZ, I told you, even though we are paying GST or not paying GST, it will always be treated as taxable and we can enjoy the ITC. That's what we need to write here. Then question number 10, AB, a registered person, was paying tax under composition scheme up to 30th July. However, with effect from 31st July, AB becomes liable to pay tax under regular scheme. Is AB eligible for any ITC? Yes or no? So he is going into normal scheme, composition scheme to normal scheme. So as on 30th July, before that date, whatever is the inputs as such held in stock, inputs in WIP in stock, inputs in FG in stock, and even capital goods after reducing 5%, they can avail the ITC. So those points related to 18(1)(c) you need to write. Then question number 11, Babla Enterprises is exclusively engaged in making exempted supply of goods. They are making only exempted supply. And thus not registered under GST. Yes, a person who is exclusively making exempted supplies is exempted from registration. They are not required to register. On 1st October, the exemption available on its goods gets withdrawn. So therefore withdrawal of exemption. On that day, the turnover of Babla Enterprises was 50 lakhs. So they are moving from exemption to taxable, because of which they need to register. So far they were not registered and now they are getting registered. Examine the eligibility of Babla Enterprise. Should we write 18(1)(a) or 18(1)(c)? Sorry, 18(1)(d). 18(1)(a), not 18(1)(d), because 18(1)(d) is applicable to registered person. You have written the difference also. 18(1)(d) is registered person whose exempted supply become taxable, but they are not registered at the time. Now only they are getting registered. Now only they are getting registered means 18(1)(a). It is not 18(1)(d), it is 18(1)(a). So that 18(1)(a) related provision we need to write. Theory question only, but in theory question also see how twist they have asked. Okay. Next, question number 12. Mamata Trade Links trades in exempted goods and provides taxable services. It is registered under GST. On 1st October, the exemption available on its goods gets withdrawn. Exemption gets withdrawn. Analyze the scenario and determine the eligibility of Mamata Trade Links for availing ITC, if any, on inputs or capital goods used in supply of exempted goods. So they are registered, they are registered, and now their exempted supply becomes taxable. So 18(1)(d). Here in this case you need to write 18(1)(d), and even in case of capital goods also they can take the ITC after reducing 5%. In our last class we completed 12 questions in practice manual. Let's see the remaining questions. Question number 13. Arshgeet Private Limited, a registered supplier, is engaged in manufacture of taxable goods. The company provides the following information pertaining to purchases made or services availed by it during the month of July. So during the month of July they have given some information related to purchases. Raw material to be received in the month of September, 2,50,000. So right now we are discussing about the computation for which month? July month. So for the month of July, when we need to bother, so whenever it is received in September, can we take ITC in the month of July? No, we cannot take ITC in the month of July, because one of the conditions for availment of ITC says that only when the goods are actually received we can take ITC. Membership of a club availed for employees working in the factory. Membership of a club. So membership of club, health and fitness center is blocked credit, and when we will take ITC? If it is incurred by employer to employee under a statutory obligation. Is it given that it is a statutory obligation? No, so ITC not available. Inputs to be received in 5 lots, out of which third lot was received during the month. Can we take ITC? No. So what is the condition? So inputs, if received in lots, we can avail ITC only on receipt of last lot or installment. So therefore this 80,000 rupees we cannot take ITC now. Trucks used for transportation of raw material. For trucks, is there any condition? No. So motor vehicles, other motor vehicles always eligible for ITC. Then capital goods, out of 3 items, invoice for 2 items is missing and the GST paid on those items is 80,000. One of the conditions says the person availing ITC should be in possession of tax paid document. So 1,50,000, 80,000 cannot be taken. So remaining 70,000 can be taken. So 40,000 plus 70,000, how much? 1,10,000. But you need to prepare an answer like this. So in that every explanation you need to give. Why ITC available, why ITC not available, properly you need to give the reasoning. Then only you will get marks. Suppose if you get a question like this, this will be for 5 marks. So 5 out of 5 if you need, the explanation should be properly given. Then question number 14. Jamku Limited, a registered person, is engaged in the business of spices. It provides the following details in relation to GST paid on inward supply procured by it during the month of October. Raw spices purchase, raw spices sold to customers 50,000, raw spices used for personal use of directors 20,000. So on this raw spices purchase sold to customers, can we take ITC? Yes. But used for personal use of the directors, we cannot take ITC. Reason, it is purchased goods used for personal consumption, we cannot take ITC. Electric machinery purchased for being used in the manufacturing process. We purchased the machinery and we use that machinery in the manufacturing process. Anywhere you have in the blocked credit? No. Is it used in the course or furtherance of business? Yes. So therefore we can take ITC with respect to that. Then motor vehicle used for transportation of employee. So motor vehicle, there is nothing given. So therefore we will take the capacity does not exceed 13. Only when it is given as greater than 13 we will take, otherwise it is motor vehicle does not exceed 13. And what are the 3 exceptions? Number 1, further supply. It is not a case of further supply. Number 2, so inward supplies, that is motor vehicle used in the business of transportation of passengers. No. Used for imparting driving skills? No. Due to that reason ITC not available. What if it is given as motor vehicle having a capacity greater than 13? Then ITC will be available in that case. Then payment made to contractor for construction of staff quarters. Payment made to contractor for construction of staff quarters. We have one blocked credit. Any service received for construction of an immovable property is blocked credit. 3 exceptions. If it is charged to P&L, nothing is given means they would have capitalized. Number 2, is it plant and machinery? No. And is it for the purpose of the other point? What is that other point? The restriction is to the owner of the property, not to the supplier. But here it is to the owner of the property. So ITC not available. So only 2 cases ITC available, 50,000 and 25,000. That is 75,000. Done? Then question number 15. Dina Limited, a registered supplier from Maharashtra, is engaged in manufacture of passenger autos. The company provides the following details of purchases made or service available during the month of March. Purchase of iron, which is used as raw material. Goods were received in 2 installments, first in March and second in April. Right now we are talking about which month? March month. Can we take ITC for the month of March? No, because the goods are received in April. Lots only on receipt of last lot. What is the last lot? April month. Then only we can take ITC. So now you cannot take ITC. Purchase of accessories which were delivered directly to the dealers of the company on the direction of Dina Limited. This is a case of bill to ship to transaction. Whenever the goods are delivered to a third person on the instructions of the registered person, the date on which the third person has received the goods, it is deemed that the registered person has received the goods and they can take ITC with respect to this. Purchase of bus, seating capacity 15 for transportation of employees from their residence to company and back. Now in that case, can we take ITC with respect to this? Yes. Purchase of bus, seating capacity is 15, more than 13. So we can take ITC with respect to this, 1,97,000. General insurance taken on a car used by executives of the company for official purpose. So first, car used by a company for its executives, can they take ITC? No, because car is a capacity not exceeding 13. and it is not covered under the exceptions here. So they cannot take ITC on the car purchase. So as they cannot take ITC on the car purchase, related to the car, if they receive general insurance service, they cannot take ITC on that. Do you remember three services? What are they? General insurance, repair and maintenance, and authorized service center services in relation to motor vehicle. If motor vehicle is eligible for ITC, these three services also eligible for ITC. Here, car used by executives of the company not eligible for ITC, consequently we cannot take. So total 90 and 1,97,000. How much? 12,87,000. I am just discussing the question and answers. 12,87,000. 2 lakh or 12 lakh? 2 lakh only, no? 2 lakh. 2,87,000 or how much? 90,000 plus 1,97,000. 2,87,000. So it is rupees 2,87,000. See, actually I am discussing the answers, but presentation you should do. Means what you need to do, randomly you take the questions. Don't see the answer, just see the question, write the answer and then cross check. Then you will know where you stand. Okay, you do that. Then next, question number 16. Comfortable Private Limited is registered under GST in the state of Orissa. It is engaged in the business of manufacturing of iron and steel products. It has received IT engineering services from Hi-Fi Infotech Private Limited for 11 lakhs, excluding GST at 18% on 28th November. Invoice for the same service rendered was issued on 5th November. So when they received 28th October, and when they got the invoice, 5th November. Comfortable Private Limited made payment of 4,20,000 on 30th November. Being unhappy with the service provided by Hi-Fi Infotech, it did not make the balance payment. So what is the total amount? Total amount is 11 lakhs plus GST 18%. So that will come to 11 lakhs plus 18%. 11 lakhs plus 18%, that is 12,98,000. So 11 lakh plus 18%, 12,98,000 is the total. But what is the time limit within which we need to make? What is the invoice date? 5th November. From 5th November, you take 180 days. What is 180 days from 5th November? First, in November 25 days, because we need to make payment to the supplier within 180 days from the date of invoice. So 25 days in November, December 31 days, then January 31 days, then February 28 days, then March 31. So that itself is 146, plus April 30 days, if you take 176. So minus 180, that is 4th May. 4th May will be taken. Okay. So they have made the payment of 4,20,000 on 30th November. Being unhappy, they did not pay. Deficiency in service was made good by Hi-Fi Infotech by 15th April of next year. So 4th May next year, correct? 4th May next year, but 15th April, the service was made good and the payment was made on 6th July, they missed. Actually, they should have made the payment by 4th May, but they are making payment on 6th July of the next year. Examine the availability of ITC with Comfortable Private Limited in respect of IT engineering service received by it from Hi-Fi Infotech Private Limited. First, you need to write the provision. What is the provision that you will write? Reference and provision. Actually, this 180 days point we discussed in which section? Section 16. So you will write as per section 16 of CGST Act, if the recipient has not made payment to supplier, then within 180 days from the date of invoice, so much of the ITC availed by the recipient shall be reversed along with interest at the rate of 18% from the date of utilization till the date of reversal. That portion we need to write about that 180 days point. And after writing that, in the present case, the date of invoice is 5th November. So first reference, then provision we give. Now discussion. In the present case, 180 days from the date of invoice is 4th May of next year, but the payment is not made by 4th May of next year. Consequently, okay, when the payment is not made by 4th May of the next year, what will happen? Consequently, so much of the ITC availed, that is 1,98,000, correct? 11 lakhs pa, 11 lakhs into, so 18%, 1,98,000. Should we reverse the entire 1,98,000? No. What is the payment that is made by that time? 4,20,000. Now see what is the balance payment that is not made. Total payment you take. In your calculator you take 12,98,000 minus 12,98,000 minus 4,20,000. What is the balance? That is inclusive of GST. Correct? Yeah, total is 12,98,000. In that, how much payment is made within 180 days? 4,20,000. Is it given that the 4,20,000 is inclusive of GST or exclusive of GST? No. Part payment 4,20,000 means what? All inclusive that has been paid. So 12,98,000 minus 4,20,000. So balance is 8,78,000 not paid. In that 8,78,000 not paid, what is the GST component? Into 18 divided by 118. That will be 1,33,932 needs to be reversed. Needs to be reversed in which month? After expiry of this 4th May. That is in the month of May, we need to reverse. How much we need to reverse? 1,33,932. And again, can we re-avail this ITC? Yes. So the payment is made on 6th July. So in the month of May, they need to reverse. Again in the month of July, they can re-avail. Month of May, how they will reverse? In pre-B, which is filed in June, 20th June. And again, in the July, they will avail. So for July, when they will file 3B, 20th of August, in that they will avail, re-avail. And see the question, whether they asked us to compute the interest? No. So that's why we don't have to do the computation of interest. Suppose if interest computation is given in the question, we need to do that also, but we need to know the date of utilization. That's not given in the question. So if the question says date of utilization, then interest computation will be coming and we need to compute the interest. Here, just we need to know how much we need to reverse. Actually, what will happen? We will just do the conclusion only, but we need to write properly the provision. First reference, then provision, then discussion. Finally, you need to give the conclusion. Okay. Then next, question number 17. Messrs. Diwan and Sons of New Delhi has placed an order for 250 kg of plastic granules at ₹50 per kg exclusive of GST on Messrs. Karim and Brothers of Noida, Uttar Pradesh. Messrs. Karim and Brothers has agreed to deliver the goods at the warehouse of Messrs. Diwan and Sons at New Delhi. Diwan and Sons is placing the order with whom? Karim Brothers. So Karim and Bro. So Karim and Bro. Where is Karim and Bro located? Read the question here. Where is Karim and Brothers located? Uttar Pradesh. Okay. Who placed the order with Karim and Brothers? Diwan and Sons. Diwan and Sons place the order. Where is Diwan and Sons located? New Delhi. Okay. Then next what happens? Continue. Karim and Brothers has agreed to deliver the goods at the warehouse of Diwan and Sons in New Delhi. So supply involves movement of goods. While the order was getting packed at the factory of Karim and Brothers, Diwan and Sons got an order from Shubkamna Sales of Uttar Pradesh. So there is another person. Shubkamna Sales of Uttar Pradesh. Correct? Now Karim and Brothers will raise invoice 2, that is bill 2. Diwan and Sons and ship 2. Shubkamna Sales. You got it? Now who will take ITC? Diwan and Sons or Subkamna Sales? Diwan and Sons. So at rupees 60 per kg, in order to save on the transportation cost, Diwan and Sons asked Karim Brothers to directly deliver the plastic granules to Subkamna Sales at its godown located at Hapur. Accordingly, Messrs. Karim Brothers has delivered the plastic granules at the godown of Subkamna Sales at Hapur. Examine the availability of ITC with Diwan and Sons and Karim Brothers. Now first we will see Diwan and Brothers. Or Diwan and Sons. Diwan and Sons will take the ITC, correct Appa? And so there are two supplies. What is supply number 1? Supply 1, supply 2. Supply 1 by whom? By Karim and Brothers. 2 to Diwan and Sons. To Diwan and Sons. Then next supply by Diwan and Sons to Subkamna Sales. Subkamna Sales. What is the price? Read the question carefully and answer. What is the price? Here. 250 into 250 into 50 into what is the rate of GST? 18%. That is 250 into 50 into 18%, 2,250. This 2,250, who will take ITC? Diwan and Sons. ITC to Diwan and Sons. Next, Diwan and Sons is raising invoice to Subkamna. What is the price? How many units? Same 250 units. Price 60 into 18%. That will be, so 250 into 60 into 18%. 250 into 60 into 18%. 2,700. This 2,700, who will take ITC? Subkamna Sales. So which means this 2,250 Diwan and Sons will take ITC and utilize it for payment of GST of this 2,700. Got it? That is the answer. So they just connected bill to ship to transactions with ITC related part. They may also link in exam place of supply. Same question. Now they will ask whether it is intrastate or interstate supply. First supply, what is the place of supply? Billing address. Billing address is what? New Delhi. Therefore it is interstate supply. Second supply is also interstate because supply involves movement of goods. Diwan and Sons will raise invoice to UP, that is Subkamna Sales, that is also interstate. So in both the cases it will be IGST. So they may connect the place of supply as well. Okay. Next. Question number 18. Fun Pharma Private Limited, a registered supplier, is engaged in manufacture of taxable goods. The company provides the following information of GST paid on the purchases made input service available during the month of September 2017. So what is the month? September 2017. Purchase of cabs used for the transportation of its employees. Cabs, nothing given means capacity does not exceed 13. And is it in further supply? No. Is it used in the course or furtherance of business? No. And is it used for imparting driving skills? No. Used for employees, therefore ITC not available. Inputs consisting of 3 lots, out of which first lot was received during the month. So we cannot take because only on receipt of last lot. Capital goods, out of 3 items, invoice for 1 item was missing and the GST paid on that item was 25,000. Invoice is missing means we cannot take ITC with respect to that. So 2,50,000 cannot be taken, 2,25,000. Outdoor catering service availed on Women's Day. Outdoor catering service is a block credit, but we have 3 exceptions. Inward supply, outward supply, same category. No, inward, outward supply not in the same category because they are into the business of manufacture of taxable goods. Inward supply part of outward supply, no. Statutory obligation? No. See, Women's Day could be a statutory day, but that is not a statutory obligation to give food on Women's Day. Celebrate Women's Day. Also celebrate Men's Day. You understood? There is Men's Day also, you know that? You might not be knowing. So Men's Day like that also is there. But Women's Day is special because women are special, I agree. Okay. Men is there, everywhere it is there. So, but women is special, so that's why we celebrate. And outdoor catering service availed on Women's Day block credit we cannot take. So, what is that? Only 2,25,000. Then, question number 19. Can Win Limited, a registered supplier, is engaged in manufacture of tanks. The company provides the following information pertaining to GST paid on purchases made or input service availed by it during the month of January 2018. Purchase of machinery where debit note is issued. Can we take ITC on the basis of debit note also? Yes. Debit note is also one of the tax paid document on which ITC can be availed. So 1,15,000 we can avail ITC. Input purchase was directly delivered to Joe, a job worker and a registered supplier. So what happens here? Goods are directly delivered to a third person on the instructions of the registered supplier. So can the supplier take ITC? Yes. Computers purchased, depreciation was claimed on the GST portion, so we cannot take ITC. Works contract service availed for construction of staff quarters within the company premise, already I told you. So construction of any immobile property, we cannot take ITC. Moreover, this expenditure will not be charged to P&L. So we cannot take ITC. So only 1,15,000 and 80, that is 1,95,000. Okay. Next. Say this. Question number 20. Granites Textiles Limited purchased a needle detecting machine on 8th July 2017 from Makija Engineering Works Limited for rupees 10 lakhs excluding GST, paying GST at the rate of 18% on the same. It availed the ITC of the GST paid on the machine and started using it for manufacture of goods. The machine was sold on 22nd October 2018 for rupees 7,50,000. So what is the date on which they purchased? 8th July 2017. And what is the date on which it is sold? 22nd October 2018. What is the period for which it is used? What is the period for which it is used? Number of quarters. What is the number of quarters for which it is used? Number of quarters. So 8th July 2017. July means that will come in July, August, September, October, November, December. So in 2017, 2 quarters, 18. Jan, Feb, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October is also there. So total 6 quarters. Number of quarters is 6. And is this capital goods? Yes. How you know that these are capital goods? Machine. The moment you see machine, definitely they will capitalize it. So therefore 18 subsection 6 will be applicable. What is 18 subsection 6? If we buy capital goods on which ITC is availed, if that capital goods are disposed of, how much is the GST payable? A. ITC availed minus 5% for every quarter or part thereof. From which date to which date? From the date of purchase till the date of disposal, sale, or GST on sale value, whichever is higher. In this case, what is the ITC availed at the time of purchase? 10 lakhs excluding GST 18%, so 1,80,000 minus 5% for every quarter or part thereof. So 6 quarters means 6 into 5, 30 minus 30%, that will be 1,26,000, correct? 1,26,000 or GST on sale value. What is the sale value? 7,50,000 into 18%. 7,50,000 into 18%, 1,35,000, which is higher? 1,35,000 is higher. So therefore, when they need to pay GST of 1,35,000. Is it clear? But whenever you get a question like this, first write the provision and then do the computation. Don't forget this. If you do the computation, if this question is for 4 marks, you will get 3 marks, 1 mark gone for not writing the provision. If you don't know the provision, you will not do this computation. Correct? See, here you should not be penalized actually. If you don't know the answer, okay, fine, you lost the marks. But you are anyhow doing the computation, means you know the provision. Just write 3-4 lines related to that provision and then prepare the table. Okay. Develop that habit from the beginning when you start solving the answers. Okay. Next, question 21. Cloud 7 Private Limited, a registered supplier, is engaged in manufacture of taxable goods. The company provides the following information pertaining to GST paid on the purchases made or input services availed by it during the month of February. Trucks used for transportation of raw material. So which month pa? We are talking February month. Trucks is other motor vehicles, always ITC will be available. Food and beverages for consumption of employees working in the factory. Actually we discussed this question pa, it's a repeated question. It is there already in study material, you can see that same question. So I say study material question, you see I think question number somewhere 13, 14 in that. This study material questions I gave in this book itself, ICISM, like that I gave reference. Just turn the pages before, you will find this. Question number 13, question number 13, similar question. Question number 13, similar question. Okay. So what is that? Food and beverages, we cannot take ITC. Why we cannot take ITC? Because it is not under a statutory obligation. Then inputs are received in 5 lots, out of which third lot was received during the month. No. Membership of club, again not a statutory obligation, so ITC not available. Capital goods, out of 5 items, invoice for 1 item is missing, so we can take only 3,50,000. Raw material, we can take ITC, so 1,20,000 plus 3,50,000 plus 1,50,000. Okay. Sorry, 1 second. We are doing it for February month, na? Correct. We are doing it for February month, but the raw material is received in March month, so we cannot take ITC. So 3,50,000 and 1,20,000, 4,70,000. Then question 22. Lee Mark Limited of Nasik, Maharashtra, a registered supplier, is engaged in manufacturing taxable goods. It provides the following details of items purchased and services available by it from Gujarat for the month of March. Motor car purchased for employees to be used for personal as well as business purpose. Even though it is used for business purpose also, they cannot take ITC because it's a block credit. Motor vehicle purchased for transportation of goods within the factory, where it will come other motor vehicles. So we can take ITC on 2 lakhs. Food items for consumption of employees. These were supplied free of cost to the employees in lieu of services rendered by them to the manufacturer in the course of employment. Can we take ITC on this? No. So first of all, it is not under a statutory obligation, and inward outward not in the same category. First of all, there is no outward because they are not charging money, and inward not part of outward. What if they are selling it to the employees? Can they take ITC? Yes. They purchased the food and they are selling the food to the employees. Can they take ITC? Yes. In this case, they cannot. Rent a cab facility. Renting is also blocked credit. Correct? Read it. Rent a cab facility availed for employees to fulfill a statutory obligation in this regard, and the government has notified such service. Generally, rent a cab is a block credit, but when it is incurred by employer to employer under a statutory obligation, ITC available on 36. So 2 lakh plus 36, 2,36,000. Then question 23, advice regarding availability of ITC under CGST Act in the following independent cases. AMT Company Limited purchased a minibus having a seating capacity of 16 passengers. 16 passengers means more than 13 passengers for transportation of its employees from their residence to office and back. Can they take ITC? Yes, because it comes under capacity exceeds 13, always eligible for ITC. Bangur Ceramics Limited, a manufacturing company, purchased 2 trucks for transportation of its finished goods from the factory to dealers located in various locations within the country. Can they take ITC on the trucks purchased? Yes. Why? So it will come under other motor vehicles. Then Hans Premium, dealing in luxury cars in Chanakyapuri, Delhi, purchased 5 Skoda VRS cars for sale to customers. Yes, further supply. They are buying it to sell to the customers. Means they are a dealer. Dealer can always take ITC on the motor vehicles. It comes under the first exception, further supply. Sun and Moon Packers Private Limited availed outdoor catering service to run a canteen in its factory. The Factories Act requires a company to set up a canteen in its factory. Yes, generally food and beverages block credit, but it is under a statutory obligation, so they can take ITC with respect to this. Then question 24. What is the ITC entitlement to a newly registered person? Which provision you need to write? 18(1)(a). 18(1)(a). A person who is registered, who is liable to get registered and make application for registration within 30 days. So they can take ITC on inputs as such held in stock, inputs in WIP held in stock, inputs in FG, okay, and matching not required. They need to file form GST ITC 1, that should be certified by CACMA if the claim of ITC exceeds 2 lakhs, and that should be filed within 30 days from the date on which they are getting registration certificate, and that closing stock should have been purchased within 1 year prior. Those points you should write. So, sir, 18(1)(b) also can I write? Yes, yes, 18(1)(b) also, voluntary registration, because they are asking newly registered person, both 18(1)(a), 1(b) are newly registered person. What is the tax implication of supply of capital goods by a registered person who has taken ITC on such capital goods? 18(6). What is that 18(6)? So much of the ITC availed minus 5% for every quarter or part thereof, or GST on sale value of that capital goods, whichever is higher. I told you, you are purchasing capital goods on which ITC is availed and you are selling off that capital goods, then you need to apply this. Then question number 26, Mr. B, a registered supplier of Uttar Pradesh, is doing the trading of taxable goods. He approaches you to understand the manner of utilization of input tax credit with reference to provisions of payment of tax. State the manner of utilization of ITC under GST law. What is it you need to write? We discussed those rules na, section 49. That we need to write. So IGST credit, there is no restriction, which means that IGST credit can be utilized for payment of any GST liability. Any GST credit can be utilized for payment of IGST liability. With respect to other 3 credits, respective credit for payment of respective liability, priority, then first which credit should be utilized. We discussed now those 4 rules that we need to write. Then next, this is a very good question. Rimjim Sales, a registered supplier, receives 100 invoices for inward supply of goods or services involving GST of 10 lakhs from various suppliers during the month of January 2022. Out of 100 invoices, details of 80 invoices involving GST of 6 lakhs have been furnished by the supplier in their respective GSTR1s filed on the prescribed due date therefore, and such details have also been duly communicated to the recipient of such invoices in form GSTR 2B. Okay. Compute the ITC that can be claimed by Rimjim Sales in its 3B for the month of January 2022 to be filed by 20th February, assuming that GST of 10 lakhs is otherwise eligible for ITC. First, how many invoices pa? 100 invoices. What is the GST? 10 lakhs. But out of these 100 invoices, with respect to how many invoices they filed GSTR 1, 80 invoices, and what is the ITC related to that? 6 lakhs. So how much will be reflected in the 2B? 6 lakhs. Okay. So therefore, how much ITC can be taken? Only 6 lakhs can be taken. Already we discussed this whenever supplier file GSTR 1. But along with this, what is it we need to write? With respect to 20 invoices, as and when supplier files their GSTR 1, it will be reflected in the 2B of that particular month and we can avail ITC. However, that should be within the overall time limit. What is the time limit for availment of ITC? 30th November of succeeding financial year or date of filing and return, whichever is earlier is there, na, that time limit we need to follow. Then briefly explain the provisions relating to reversal of credit in case of non-payment of tax by supplier, non-payment of tax by supplier and re-availment thereof. Non-payment of tax by the supplier. Rule 37A. What is that rule 37A? See your notebook. Rule 37A. Supplier filed GSTR 1 and it reflected in 2B of the recipient, and the supplier not filed GSTR 3B by 30th September of succeeding financial year. So the recipient should reverse the ITC by 30th November, otherwise interest will be payable at the rate of 18% from the date of utilization till the date of reversal or payment. Again, as and when supplier files GSTR 3B, so recipient can re-avail the ITC reversed earlier. Okay, and no time limit. So that note we need to write here. Okay. So this is like November 23 they have tested, and all the questions up to 23 we completed.